Welcome to the Forge Tutorials Maya Masterclass. In today's video, we are going to discuss how to show and hide items and how to use the selection masks to speed up your workflow. So let's start the lesson. Now when you're working on a complex scene where you have a lot of objects, or for example imagine you're working on a room and you want to work on the objects that are in the interior of your room and you want to hide the walls. So how do you do that? So you can access your show or hide menu by going to your display menu. Here you have access to your show and hide menu. In the hide menu you can hide a selection or you can hide the unselected objects, and you also have your shortcuts for hide, which is Ctrl+H, and hide the unselected object, which is Alt+H. So as you can see, you can simply hide an item by selecting that item and pressing Ctrl+H. Let's undo that. Or you can go to your display menu and select hide selection, or choose to hide the unselected items from up here. Also in the display menu you have options to show your last hidden object. Now one thing you should understand is that when you hide an object, it hasn't gone away, it's still there, it's just invisible to us. So let's open the outliner. And as you can see, if we select the center pole and hide that, you can see in the outliner the center polymesh is grayed out, but it is still there. If we go to our display menu and select show selection from up here, the shortcut for that is Shift-H, you can see that the pole has reappeared in our scene. You can also turn the invisibility of a particular object on or off by going to your channel box and turning the visibility on or off. You can simply type off, and that will turn the visibility of that particular object off, or you can type on, or you can type 1 for visibility and 0 to turn the visibility off. Now in a lot of attributes you have this option to turn a thing on or off. In those options the value of 0 will work as off and the value of 1 will work as on. Let's turn that on for now. You can also show or hide items by selecting them directly from the outliner and pressing your hide object shortcut, which is Ctrl+H, or make them visible by simply pressing Shift+H. Now you have a few more options in your hide and show menu. You can hide all, or you can hide by type. Right now we have a few joints in our scene. As you can see down here, we can go to hide our kinematics and hide our joints, and you can see it will make our joints invisible. And we can go back into our show menu and go back to our show kinematics and turn on the show joints button from up here. That will make the joints reappear. So basically from the display menu you can select what you want to be shown in your scene and what you want to hide, and you can also select that inside your viewport. If you go to your show menu inside your viewport, you can select from any of these options and hide that particular type of object in your viewport. Now this option only works inside the viewport that you selected it in. If you go to another viewport in which you have show all selected, the items that you have hidden in this viewport will not be hidden in that viewport. So for example, in this viewport we turn off all of our geometry, that is our polygons. You can see that all of our polygons are now hidden in this viewport, but if we go to our top view, you can see that our polygons are still visible in this viewport. As you can see, the polygon button in this viewport is still on. Let's move back to our perspective view and turn the polygons on. So these are the few ways you can show and hide objects within Maya. This can be really helpful when you're trying to model really complex scenes and you just want to see a particular section of that scene and don't want your camera to clip through other objects. Now let's talk about the selection masks. Now the selection mask menu, as we talked in our Maya user interface lesson, is up here. You can open that up by clicking on this button right here, and when you click on it, you now have access to your selection mask menu. Now right now in our scene we have a lot of objects. We have two lights, we have polymesh object, we have NURB curves, and we have joints in our scene. So for example, if we don't want to select our polygons and we just want to work with the other type of objects, we can come up here and turn our polygon button off. We will not be able to select any of our polygons. We can only select the lights, we can select the joint, we can select our curves. We will not be able to select or interact with any of our polygonal meshes. Let's turn the polygon button on and turn our joints button on. So now we can't interact with our joints, but we can now interact with our polygonal objects. Now this masking menu can be really helpful when you're rigging or when you are working with a lot of different type of objects like curves and it is getting hard for you to select that particular type of object. You can simply go to your selection masking menu and turn the things that you don't want to affect off, and now you can only affect the things that you want to select. The selection menu can save you a lot of headache and it will be a whole lot easier for you to select and move the type of item that you want to interact with. So now that you know about how to show and hide items and how to use the masking menu, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And as always, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, drop a comment. And if you want to support me directly or buy some cool things, the links to my merch store and my Patreon is in the description down below. And I'll see you in the next video.